in the middle of our heat wave here in California. It got down to 78 to the low 80s last night. Too hot. I cannot sleep in that kind of heat. Ugh. And today, 100. Constant sirens today. People being taken to the hospital because of the excessive heat and the hot overnight. But there's nothing wrong here. There's no reason to even think of climate change as being a problem, is there? As long as you got air conditioning. How long before air conditioning won't do the job? All right, let's go over this way, up, and then down to get to our next slot. All right, let's get right into the climate change news. The wind is giving us a little break right now. I'm a little bit nervous about being in a fire-prone area when the wind's blowing and it's hot and dry. NOAA, we've broken the climate system. The Earth just had its hottest September on record. The Arctic sea ice is melting at an alarming rate. 2020 has a 65% chance of warmest year on record. That was in 2016, is the only record it has to break. This year has had many record-setting temperatures and unprecedented extreme weather events like flooding and heat and fire, tornadoes, and of course hurricanes have been at an all-time high also. And the increase in disaster is at record-setting levels at this time. In other words, the insurance companies are having to pay record amounts of claims. But that's not all. A new study shows 50% coral decline on the Great Barrier Reef. 50% of the corals are now in decline. The corals are a species which interacts with algae and makes the corals color and gives each other a way of living through feeding each other. But when it gets too hot, it bleaches, the symbiotic relationship ends, and the coral die, or they die back. In this case, they're dying back and dying. Unless urgent climate action is taken, the reef is doomed. We're going to lose the Great Barrier Reef very soon because people themselves can't fix the problem. Driving less, your diet, what comes out of your mouth, what goes into your mouth, how much fossil fuel you use, how many rare earths do you use. The population has fallen a lot due to the bleaching. The decline is happening both in shallow water and deeper water. That's alarming, isn't it? It means the temperature is going down in the oceans, and it will just keep going down until it reaches methane and other frozen things. Well, anyway, let's go on. In fact, in some areas, colonies have declined 98%, more in the north than the south. Okay, let's talk about another big problem, of course, is microplastic. But this is a type of microplastic that is used to make females and some guys look better. This is called glitter. Glitter is literally damaging rivers and lakes at this time. It hasn't made it to the oceans, they say. Glitter is microplastic, but it's also made with other types of materials too. But they all act the same. All glitter is considered dangerous to the abundance of common plants in the water, such as duckweed and microscopic algae is in great decline just because of glitter. That stuff you put on your face and all that over your eyes. Glitter is also disrupting the abundance of non-native snails. In other words, the non-native snails are pushing out the native snails in the waterways, and they're becoming more abundant because of microplastic. And because of this, it will completely disrupt the food web in the water systems. So, another thing don't do is use glitter. All these things, we actually have to believe that the environment is worth not doing all these things, or we'll just ignore it and continue doing it like we are on so many things. Now, there's been a huge warning here in California. There's been a warning of disruptions in electricity today because of the winds, and the wind blowing the power lines together, causing sparks and major wildfires. That's why they're shutting the power off, because when they built the infrastructure, they didn't build it properly for our environment. They never thought that the global climate change would happen so quickly. They built it to 1970s standards, which are far too little for 2020 standards and on. I appreciate all the ups and downs and new subscribers. I love all the comments. Nice comments on the last ones. And until next time. The worst thing you can have happen during a heat wave is a wind event. Wind come up. Lots of wind. There's no such thing as climate change, is there?